What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing another Hidden Gems video, and we're going to be covering the quarterback position on Madden 22. And we're going to go ahead and jump into 10 different entries for Hidden Gem names that you should know and have on your list if you're looking to add a quarterback and maybe find somebody to develop into a franchise quarterback in your franchises in Madden 22. The first quarterback on this list is going to be Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I still don't completely understand the situation with Tua. It seems like the Dolphins don't necessarily want him to be their long-term quarterback. I know that he has his injury issues and he's had some accuracy issues, but they don't really have a very good roster around him, and I don't really feel great about the situation with him here. They also added Jacoby Brissett. It just seems like a situation where Tua Tagovailoa may be available to you in franchise mode, and this is one of the top players that you should absolutely know his name because he can be a freak player if given the opportunity. He's still only 23 years old and a 72 overall, so probably the best combination of age and overall that's going to be on this list. The next player that I want to mention on this list is Gardner Minshew on the Eagles. Now, this is a player that is not going to get a lot of playing time. He is going to be available in most leagues simply because of Jalen Hurts being out here, being a really nice athlete in front of him, having a pretty good arm, and being 23 years old and 71 overall. It makes the quarterbacks behind him absolutely available. Joe Flacco is an established veteran. He's been pretty solid in his time, and Gardner Minshew is going to be available simply because of the fact that he's behind Jalen Hurts. So 67 overall, 25 years old, not the ideal age for a Hidden Gems player, but somebody that you could still bring in and turn into a very good quarterback. He has the tools necessary to become a good franchise quarterback. It's just going to take some time and effort to develop this guy into what you want him to be. The next quarterback on this list is a quarterback that I actually like quite a bit and I've liked for a while, and I don't think that he's ever quite gotten a fair shake here in the NFL, and that is Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen currently sitting on the Falcons roster behind Matt Ryan. Now, there is the potential that he could take over for that organization, but I would say that in franchise mode, people are going to be much more likely to go out and draft a quarterback or find an athletic quarterback to take over in Atlanta once things pan out with Matt Ryan and finish up. So, Josh Rosen still, after 3 years in the league, is only 24 years old. He was very young when he was drafted. He's been on this list for me for a while, and this is a guy that plays very well because of his high pedigree. He was drafted super early, and therefore Madden makes him play better than he probably should in terms of a 66 overall. This is a guy that you should know in terms of a true hidden gem, somebody that's going to come out and play better than their overall, so definitely add him to your list. The next player on this list is going to be Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen, a very similar player there to Josh Rosen. He's been around for a couple of seasons. I don't feel like he's quite gotten a fair shake, and in the time that he has had on the field, I feel like he's been pretty good and deserves a starting opportunity in the league. Regardless of that, he is 25 years old, 64 overall, and has a pretty good skill set between his athleticism and his throwing ability. Not only that, this is a player that I have personally used on multiple occasions throughout the past couple of seasons, and he always plays above his overall. This is another one of those quarterbacks that I think is programmed to play well, and he has always played well for me. Somebody that is definitely going to be available and somebody that you should know their name. The next entry into this list is going to be the Packers quarterbacks. Now, this is going to be highly determined on what a franchise owner of the Packers decides to do in your leagues. Aaron Rodgers could be available. It could be Jordan Love who is available depending on what they decide to do. In either case, these are both players that you should definitely think about being able to target. You should definitely reach out to the Packers organization and try to acquire one of these quarterbacks if you are looking to add a quarterback to your roster. Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to stick around for quite a few more years in Madden because of his development, X factor, and his overall. He is 37 years old, 95 overall. We know what he has to offer, but Jordan Love, drafted behind him, 68 overall, 22 years old, 1 year of experience, decent athlete, pretty good throw power. This is a guy that can be developed into whatever you need him to be at the quarterback position, and he'll be coming in as exactly that. In either case, in a franchise with the Packers, they would be kind of silly not to try to start Jordan Love early and get his development started early, or if that's not the route they're going to take, try to trade Jordan Love away for some amount of value. One of these quarterbacks is going to be available, and so you should know their names and have them on your list. The next player to make it onto this list is actually going to be Marcus Mariota. Now, he makes it onto this list because of his athleticism, and this is another guy that I feel like didn't really get a fair shake with where he was at and his situations within the league. I still think he can be a very good quarterback, and the times that I have had the opportunity to play with him in franchise mode, 70 overall is more than good enough for him. He plays really, really well. He's a very good athlete, and he has the arm ability to get the ball moving downfield. Now, he is definitely going to be available behind a guy like a Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I think, is kind of firmly entrenched here, and you might even consider him available depending on what this organization decides to do in franchise mode. So Marcus Mariota, though, fills this spot on the list. Definitely know that he's out there and have him as an available option that's probably not going to cost a whole lot for you. Next up on this list is an obvious one, and that is Tyler Huntley, who's backing up Lamar Jackson. Now, it's not going to be super easy to get the Ravens to part ways with their only backup, but there are other backups out there and available. He is a very good athlete, 86 speed, 86 agility, 89 acceleration. This is a guy that if you're looking for an athlete at quarterback, could be the answer. This is a guy that could be developed into a very good starting quarterback here in a franchise in Madden 22, and certainly is not going to cost you a whole lot considering the fact that Lamar Jackson is the obvious play here for the Ravens, and Tyler Huntley does not have a ton of value as a backup quarterback there. The next spot on this list is going to be filled by Dwayne Haskins Jr., who is now on the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's only on a one-year contract. He is potentially going to take over for Ben Roethlisberger in time. I don't know what a Steelers user other than myself would do in franchise mode, but Dwayne Haskins is certainly potentially available. He's only 24 years old. He's a 63 overall. He can't possibly cost that much, but again, this is another guy that has former early round pedigree, and this is a guy that is programmed to play well. In the time that I have had him on the Steelers franchise, I've developed him up to a 70 overall in one season and given him a little bit of playing time, and he plays really well. He's not super inaccurate or anything like that. Another one of those players that I think is programmed to play better than their overall should absolutely be on your list. The next slot on this list is going to be occupied by a couple of speed players, and that could be anybody including Taysom Hill, Chris Straveller, I don't know how to say his name, and Bryce Perkins. These are three players that all have that athletic skill set. Now, Taysom Hill is obviously older, but he's a player that you could bring in and use for a couple of years, or if your franchises do manual upgrades to account for breakout performances and stuff like that, you could take him and turn him into a legitimate quarterback. But these other guys here have that athletic ability. They're not too old, especially Bryce Perkins being only 24 years old. Chances are this guy ends up on the practice squad or something of that nature because he's only a 54 overall. If you're looking for a quarterback that you could start and, take him from zero to hero real quick, Bryce Perkins is potentially that guy for you. And then the final entry on this list is quarterback Cole McDonald out of Hawaii. He is currently a free agent on the roster. He is a 57 overall, 23 years old. This is a guy that is, again, returning to this list from last year. This is one of my favorites on this list. 86 speed, 88 acceleration, but the combination here with him is that he has very good throw power. There are not many quarterbacks out here that have this combination of athleticism and throw power. Most of the free agent quarterbacks, in fact, especially the young ones, don't have better than 88 throw power. In fact, most of them have very low throw power. This is a guy that has all of the physical tools that you need to build him into a very good quarterback. He's also 6'3", 215, so he's got a pretty good size. This is a guy that I like a lot. Maybe my favorite player on this list, to be honest. I know I say that about a couple of different players, but Cole McDonald, because he's free, he's out there in free agency, is very, very good as an option. Still only 23 years old and has a lot of room to grow. So hopefully this video helped you guys out in some way. If it did, leave a like on the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a good one.